come on, let me do my... Hello, everybody. It's Friday night. Welcome to PoliTarology. I'm Colleen Pearl, the Cool Crone, and I'm here with four of my very good friends who happen to be amazing psychics. And we are here to give you divination pleasure. This is what we're doing. Okay, so I'm just going to introduce everybody and let everyone tell you what's going on their channel. And I'm going to start with Gerald. Tarot Stash, thank you.
I'm Gerald, Tarot Stash. The easiest thing to do is to like and subscribe to my channel because I've got lots of stuff coming up, including an amazing show on Tuesday evening with Colleen, the Cool Crone, where we're doing readings for readers. So that's a new show I'm starting. So please join us.
Yes. And Val, why don't you tell us what's going on with you?
I'm just doing a meditation class tomorrow morning. There's still time to join, and going forward with the channeling class. I also have another channeling class coming up if you want to join that. And if you go to dragonflycrystals.store, you'll be able to see what those classes are. Other than that, my usual shows, and tomorrow is a special event. We're having the Real Psychics of YouTube. So tomorrow, at 4 o'clock Pacific, 7 Eastern, you will not want to miss that. The Cool Crone has created this enticing show, so you will want to watch that.
Yes, maybe we'll see a promo for it later.
Maybe. Stay tuned. Okay. And Cleo, what's going on with you?
Well, I'm just so excited about tomorrow's show. I hope you're able to make it. It's your show. It's the the Real Psychics of YouTube, and we've been talking about this for a month. So hey, everybody better show up. It should be fun and it should be interesting. And on Monday, I've got the Mystic Four.
Nice.
Yes.
Ooh, very nice. Okay. And that's it?
Yeah, that's good enough for now.
Okay. And Sherry, Voices from the Swamp, welcome back to the East.
Thank you. Thank you.
What's going on for you?
A very eventful trip. Tomorrow night is Night Owl Slumber Party at 11 p.m. Central.
Nice.
And we will cover the trip and all the wild things that happened and all the near misses that we went through, that just, even my son was like, okay, somebody's looking out for us.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you think? And then Sunday is, I think it's Juno. Sunday is Juno, Fortunes and Flows, and then Monday is Draining the Swamp with Mel Dore, our Aloha Shirt Psychic. And I think Aiden is going to join us Monday night.
Very nice.
Because Arthur is going to be with Marina Monday night.
Oh.
We share him. I get the first Monday of the month, and she gets the last Monday of the month when we do our shows. So we just split Arthur in two and share him.
Okay. I'm not gonna do that with a 10-foot pole.
I don't even know what to say to that, but okay.
Yeah, I don't either, but whatever. Okay, so do we have a few questions from the chat?
What about you? What about you?
Oh, what about me? Yeah, so we're having the Real Psychics of YouTube tomorrow night. I'm very excited about that. That's going to be really fun. And, you just got to tune in and see what's happening with that because it's going to be a good show. Let's see, what else? On Tuesday, I'm doing readings for readers with you. And, yeah. And, and tonight, after the show tonight, I'm going to do another show with Deanne Shield Maiden and Tea Time for Tanya, and we're going to be talking about the witch trials, which I don't think I'm an expert in witch trials, so I don't know what I'm going to really contribute, but I'm sure I'll think of something to say. But and so I'm looking forward to that. So here we are. It is April. We are on the verge or the eve of the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction this weekend, which is destined to be kind of a big deal for everybody. So we'll see what happens after this weekend. We had the eclipse or a pair of eclipses. Now we have this conjunction, which is going to also involve some of the same planets that were with the eclipse. So popcorn's going to pop. There's going to be a lot of stuff happening. And
Yeah.
I know that Mr. T has been feeling all of that happening. So it's definitely going to impact him. So without any more, bejabbering, let's get into some questions. So we have, okay, we'll take this first one from AW. I'll go ahead and put it up on the screen. So Sloan Bella says, if psychics say for entertainment purposes only, then they don't stand by what they say. She also says you can still be sued even with that. Thoughts? I don't know who Sloan Bella is, but the reason that people need to say for entertainment purposes only is a legal reason. Because in many states, divination, fortune telling, even astrology is basically illegal unless you say that it is for entertainment purposes only.
Yes.
Like for tax purposes, when you are even a carnival worker, anybody that does anything that has, involvement with fortune tellers, psychics, astrologers, not Reiki, that's healing, but, anything where you're reading somebody, you have to register for your taxes as an entertainer. That's the way you register. That's the way you set up your business. It's not, so it is legal. So I disagree that you can be sued after that. I mean, someone can try to sue you if you took advantage of them, like someone saying, I'm going to remove this curse for you. Please give me $5,000 for all the candles and oils. Then maybe you're taking advantage of the person. So that aspect of it, you can be sued for. But the actual just giving a reading for somebody, but saying, hey, I'm an entertainer and this is just for entertainment purposes only, I really doubt that the suit would go anywhere. I mean, anybody can sue for anything. You can't really stop people from doing that, but I don't think they'd win. So those are my thoughts. And there you have it. Anybody else?
I think you
I
said
agree.
it quite nicely. So I agree.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, there we go. All right. So let's see. Let's go to Rose's question. Will the judge remove reporters from the hallway and stop 45's word salad there? That is a good question. Let's read on that.
I get that he won't do that, but he'll let the reporters go ahead and be there and let Trump go ahead, and because Trump's already making such a big deal about the gag orders and that, the judge won't let him do anything, which is absolutely not true. And then the thing about, well, I don't get to go to my son's graduation. It's all BS. It all depends. The judge didn't say absolutely not, you can't do that. What the judge says is you need to appear in court for your trial. And if you don't, you could go to jail. But, they don't know what the timing's going to be. So if they get done soon enough to let him go to his son's graduation, they will. Also, the judge is not opposed to giving him time off for that day or that morning or afternoon, whatever it is, to go to his son's graduation. But, it depends on where they're at with the case. But I think he's going to let the reporters stay there, and Trump Trump keeps coming out and just saying stupid, ridiculous things, and finally, the general media is finally getting on board with this and letting us know that they let us know when Trump is BSing everybody, which is almost every time he opens his mouth. So as long as the reporters continue to report correctly I don't think the judge has a problem with it.
I have to agree 100%. And I have them, the judge is going to just let him do responsibility. Here I have him doing his lies out in the hallway. It's not about the reporters being there. It's what's coming out of his mouth, the lies, because he has to take responsibility for what comes out of his mouth. But you know what? He's not going to be able to stop himself from his normal spiel. And here's the celebration card of all of us going, oh, they finally did something about it. Because I think he will end up in jail. I feel like he will. And I think he wants to, in some way, even though he X'd whatever platform he has, True Social, I'm not going to be arrested. I'm not going to be arrested. Well, yeah, you are. Because the universe doesn't hear not. They just hear, I'm going to be arrested. I'm going to be arrested.
Right. He wants to be arrested because he wants the publicity and he wants to be the martyr.
Yeah.
Only thing is that whole line of thinking will just backfire on him.
Correct.
Okay, who else is ready?
Well, I think he's thinking he's a poet. Every time he walks out there and the press is all out there, he's just spewing all this nonsense because he thinks he sounds so intelligent, which of course makes him feel like he's in his happy place with rainbows and unicorns and all that good stuff. What he's actually doing is he's standing in the fire and doesn't even realize he's getting burnt to the crisp from it. And as Val was saying, oh, the star, we are all so very happy that he's doing this because it's good for us. So there you go.
Okay.
I'm actually going to be the differing opinion here because the question is will the judge remove the reporters from the hallway? I got a yes. However, it's not going to be an immediate thing. It's going to, I got my yes with the 7 of Pentacles. So it's going to show up, but it's not quite yet going to happen. And the other cards are about someone being stupid, someone who is saying things that they shouldn't say. And it's when that gets in the way of allowing things to move forward, the judge is going to go, nope, you're out. You're interfering with the processes and the procedures. So you're done.
I think you might be onto something about, will they take him out of the hallway? They might take him out of the hallway, but they'll still be reporters outside of the courtroom. So that's what I'm feeling, that could happen that way, to remove these people out of maybe take them out of the building altogether, but still they're going to be on the outside. And Trump doesn't care, just as long as there's somebody there with a microphone and a camera taking his picture so he can spew his false narratives about what's going on.
I think that they can't remove the reporters because it's really, I don't know if it's First Amendment issue. I don't know what it is, but it's freedom of the press where
Right.
they have to be able to produce information that comes from a trial or something and tell the public. It's their job. So in that way, it would be very hard to remove them because
But
that's
could they remove them from the building and still have reporters?
I don't think so. It's almost like that might be like a step of pulling their access, because actually they should be allowed in the courtroom because it's the free press, allowed in the courtroom, allowed to sit in, allowed to know, to report what they hear, not what they hear from Trump, but what they hear in the actual trial itself. And that's part of the free press. So I don't know about that.
Yeah, what they can't take into the courtroom is like a cell phone to record it, either audio or video. They won't allow that in New York. In other states they might, but I agree with Val. I mean, they're the fourth estate. That's part of the structure and foundation of our rights in this country is the right to disagree with the authorities. And one way that we know that we want to disagree is by hearing what the authorities are doing, and that's the press. So it's baked in that we allow journalism. That's baked in.
Yeah.
I think that Judge Marchand is a wily goat, because I think that he has kind of a plan. It's not an accident that he said, yeah, okay, we're going to deal with your stupid gag stuff, after we pick the jury, because he wants to keep the ball rolling. But also, perhaps he just wants Trump to really hang himself. Now, one thing I heard some of the legal pundits saying is, well, he's got to warn him. He can't just bring the hammer down, because they can challenge that it's not fair or whatever. And I'm thinking, I don't know, Marchand's very wily, and he has made note of all the other cases where he's had to be gagged. He's used those gag orders kind of as a precedent for his own gag order. So I think that he's kind of letting Trump hang himself, because
I have to agree 100% with you, because when I was throwing those cards, I was seeing the vision of him laying the trap for him, not a trap per se, because he's just going to let himself hang himself. It is just, he's letting his Trump do his regular thing, but it is almost his like laying a trap for him to be caught up. To be trapped by his own personality and flaws.
He's pulling the chair right up under the cross beam and laying the rope nicely across it. He's really saying, here you go. Here's all the ammo that you need. Because I see that at some point, Trump is going to be very, very upset. The reporters, though, I think will stay pretty much in the hallway, but he might also take the step of just tightening the gag order even further, and then also letting Trump kind of hang himself. But I see that, Juan Marchand is now the king of swords. He's calling the tune, and Trump is a bad dancer to the tune.
And a smelly one too.
Yeah, messy and smelly. Okay, that was good. All right, so what do we have here? We'll take that one down, and we'll get rid of these ones that we talked about. And now we have Colleen. Okay, Colleen, let's see. Moses Mike now has 3 people asking for his removal. So do we think that he's going to be removed imminently, or what will happen?
Well, now he's pulling a new trick. Now he's saying that he is going to let them have the money. The only thing is almost looks like it's too late. I mean, it's still, it's great that they're finally coming up with some money, but they've wasted, what have they wasted? 6 months, and they've allowed so much damage because Ukraine didn't have the money. They didn't have the ammunition. They didn't have the whatever it was they needed. And other countries have stepped in and tried to help, but not as much. I don't know if it's as much as the United States, but I just think that he's acting like, okay, I know I'm putting my job at risk by doing this, but now I think we should give him the money. And I'm like, well, Yahoo. I mean, I'm glad that's happening, but I'm not that glad about it because it should have happened months ago. So as far as his removal, I think it is. I think it's coming. I think we've all seen that coming eventually here within probably by summertime, if not sooner. That's my feeling. That's what I'm being told.
Okay. Anybody else ready?
I got the will be removed in August is what I got. So it's coming, and lots of people are deciding how they want to interact, which team they're on, because everything is mercurial. But yeah, I definitely have I have August, so
Does that, if he's there till August, does that mean he will have been speaker longer than Kevin McCarthy?
I don't know.
I'm going to find out. Go ahead. Who's ever ready can go.
Okay, well, I drew the devil because, as they say, the devil's in the details. I think that Moses Mike is the feeling I'm getting is that he's really pushing the MAGA right?
Mhm.
Followed by the 8 of chalices. So whatever it is he's doing, it's not going to be very successful. Especially with this deck, that's how they spell this card out. He's I feel like it could be. I'm getting August myself, or September, because then I got the 9 of Swords. So he's gonna be under the gun, and while he's giving in to the what the Democrats want, what Biden wants, he's pissing off more and more and more of the Republicans, even the more moderate ones who understand why he's doing what he's doing, because their job is to govern, not to walk around and have hissy fits all day long. So I think, yeah, we're looking at August or September, and uh, and I think Jeffries will be right there to take his place, because that's what I had a vision about it a couple of months ago. I saw Jeffries in before the election. So,
And just a short thing here, pulled the devil card, and really, here's a compassionate feeling. This is like the Democrats, and here's the devil card, and next to the devil card is money. So you're really dealing with someone who is thinking about how they can walk the line between their own people, the far right, and defend what they're doing, and with effort, and being able to come home in celebration. But what's going to happen? And I felt April very strong, or August rather, very strongly when I saw that King of Pentacles. This felt like an 8 to me, an 8 type kind of season, that he is going to find out that his altruism in the Moses Mike way, his altruism is not going to pan out for him in some way. But we'll just have to see how that goes, because here's a little messenger coming to tell him something, give him a love tap, and it may be the love tap to leave. I don't know. We'll see.
So everybody else read already?
I think so.
Okay. So
Gerald, did you read?
I did.
yeah, he did.
Okay.
So what I got is that, he is learning how to do his job. He is learning it, finally. Not finally. I mean, he learned it fairly quickly, but he's working very hard, especially behind the scenes, because now he gets it. Now he gets how all of the things work together, how it all meshes together, how the team really works. And you notice that he's very often siding with Democrats.
Because, as a leader, you want action, right? You want to show I'm doing something, right? You want that
Yeah.
feeling.
Yeah. So he's very conflicted. On the one hand, he's very just disillusioned with Trump, with the whole action of the Republican Party, with what their supposed ideals are. And if you hear him spouting those religious things or referring to himself as Moses, he knows he's lying. He knows it, but he doesn't know what else to say. He doesn't have a new script to replace the old one. But he's very, very conflicted. I mean, I heard that he had one of his sons is actually in the armed forces. I don't know what area. And that one of the things that he's very worried about is him being put on the ground, and being sent to war. He's very worried about that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I hear that he's very has changed his mind about the money for Ukraine, and he wants all of this stuff to go forward. So this is a man who is really kind of torn up inside, but also excited about what he's doing. Now, I do see, though, he's probably going to have a challenge pretty quick here, probably within the next week or two, and he's going to survive. He's going to survive that challenge. He's going to get through it somehow, probably with the Democrats' help. And that bill is also going to get through. And so he's going to have, walking down the hallway, people are going to be shooting daggers in his back with their eyes, but he's going to survive. So
Yeah.
perhaps you guys are all right about August is the time. And I did check. He was elected on October 25th. So if he lasts until August 25th, he will surpass Kevin McCarthy for his run as speaker.
That is closely related to Plucky Heroin. Ask him to pop this up.
Okay.
Will funding occur for Ukraine aid before Moses Mike gets jettisoned? And I think you answered that.
Yeah, I think it will. It's imminent. I feel it coming. I felt so strongly about it that I didn't even feel we needed to read about it. But
yeah,
I mean, we can read about it if you want to.
No, I just wanted to put that up because you had already touched on it.
Okay, thanks. Yeah. So yeah. Now the aid packages, though, I think they're all lumped together, right? I think they're all. Let's see. Funding for Ukraine. What does the New York Times say here? Yeah, it's tied together with Israel. And then there's another, is it Taiwan? That's the other country, I think, that needs aid at this point.
And then the border.
No, that this is a different package. This package is
aid for the earthquake.
No, yeah, maybe, I don't know, other U.S. allies. Anyway, it says Johnson is pushing ahead on foreign aid bill, teeing up a weekend vote, and it passed the first round of voting, so it's kind of on its way. Unless he's just a terrible counter, unless he just doesn't know how to count any votes at all, which is possible. He's new at the game, so who knows? But
there's people in chat who are saying multiple bills, 4, 3, or 4.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's why it's so confusing. Yeah.
Oh.
And there was a vote today, apparently.
Oh.
Yeah, and it went. So that was the first round that went through.
Okay.
So I guess what we could read on is, Will the package go through next week, or will it take longer, or when will this package go through? Because yeah, Ukraine is really on pins and needles. They had articles about that too. They're really like, we need this.
Well, it'll go through rather fast as long as the Senate can concur that this is what they want. It depends on how the bill is written, but they're going to do their best to try to get it through.
And what's the question exactly?
Will it go through next week, or will it take longer to get through?
Gotcha. Damn it.
I got movement. They're honing the bill, getting it done, and movement with the chariot. So I feel like it's going to happen quickly. But then the confusing thing is waiting for your harvest to come in. So I don't know if that's moving it through to the Senate and sitting there and waiting. But it will. I don't think it's going to be that too much longer. I think.
Well, and Lady Leo says the vote today was just whether to bring aid packages to a vote.
Oh, they will. Yeah.
Yeah, and they said yes, they would.
Yes, they will.
Okay. Well, this looks pretty promising. The cards that I got. The Four of Swords, laying a foundation for war. I mean, that's swords or war, right? King of Cups, Biden's on board with it. He's happy about it. Then we got the Prince of Swords. I guess that would be Mikey, huh?
Looks like him.
Prince of Swords. It does look like him. And then we have 10 of Pentacles. That's a big shit ton load of money, you know. So we got that. And the Ace of Cups. Everybody's happy. Except for those 3 MAGAs in Congress that don't know how to be happy. But so I think it's going to go through next week. I think they're going to get their aid. And everybody's going to be able to sleep a little better in Ukraine.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Well, I pulled Saint Genevieve, which is the Queen of Staffs. So we're looking at stuff that can very well be worked out. You know, everything kind of worked out for the best, and I think that would indicate a fairly fast result. But then I followed it up with Saint Anthony, which is the Knight of Staffs, and it's that could be a little volatile. So there might be some fighting going on in the house over this, especially since Moses Mike is going to be going against his party with what he's pushing through. But it ends with the 6 of Chalices, and they're having a grand old time. So I think it's all going to work out fairly well and fairly quickly, is what I'm picking up from it. That's what I'm feeling. So by next week, maybe the week after, I think is very possible.
Yeah.
I'm thinking 8 days. They're gonna have to get through 8 days of stuff in order for it to pass. So
Okay. Okay. All right. So let's see here. I don't know quite. Well, let's read on this. I don't know quite what to make of this, but if you hadn't heard, there was a man who lit himself on fire in the park across the street from the courthouse in some kind of a protest against Trump's case. And he said Biden and Trump were working together. Oh, yeah.
I did not hear that. I did not hear that it had anything to do with Trump's case. I think this guy came up from Florida. He's a conspiracy kind of guy. He believes in a lot of conspiracies. He's obviously off his rocker. Anybody that lights himself on fire. And I don't, I think he just wanted to be in front of that courtroom, to make his thing. But I don't, he might have said Biden and Trump are working together. I don't even know what the hell that means. The guy was a complete nutcase. And, I feel badly that somebody is so deranged that they think that they will make a point by starting themselves on fire. And he is currently in the hospital with a lot of burns.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to impact anyone. It's
Right.
because it favors neither side.
Right.
It's of no impact, except that it's a tragedy that a human being was that mentally ill and he didn't get help.
Yeah.
In some way.
Yeah. Anybody else?
I don't have anything to add. I just think it's sad that somebody did this.
It's very sad.
Same.
Very sad.
Sherry, you have anything?
Yeah. Well, I do vomit, so I'm thinking it's just kind of a metaphor for this person is sick mentally, obviously. I mean, you don't do something like that if all the gears are turning properly. And then I drew the swamp. So, I don't know where he was from, but if his mind is that churned up that he's doing such crazy things, I mean, obviously, not to say that he's from down here, but who knows? Maybe he is.
No, he's from Florida.
Oh, he's from Florida. Well, they have swamps in Florida too, lots of them. So I mean, to me, this is just confusion. Is what it's what it's representing with the swamp, because it's very easy to get lost in the swamp. because everything looks the same. It's kind of like being out in the middle of the desert. All you see is sand. Everything looks the same. Well, the swamp is the same way. Ending with the demon. I mean, who knows? Maybe he was possessed by something wanting to make him do crazy stuff. Maybe he thinks he's a demon and that's why he did it. I mean, the fact that he comes up with Biden and Trump are working together, that in and of itself tells me something's not right in the upstairs department, because nothing could be further from the truth. But it's just sad that somebody does something like this, because he's going to pay for this the rest of his life in a very painful way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not like something you put a Band-Aid on and go home. It's
he's
Well,
30.
if he even survives.
right. I mean, you start talking skin grafts and all that kind of stuff, and you have the possibility of Pseudomonas setting in and sepsis. It can get bad. I mean, burns are nothing to sneer at.
No. Well, we've reached that time in the show where it's time for a little ad. So
Ooh,
Yay!
what could you be talking about?
here we go. Time for a little ad for a new show coming to the Cool Crone. Get ready to receive the knowledge. We know before you ask, because we are the real psychics of YouTube. Who are the real psychics of YouTube? What's the matter? Don't know because you're not psychic? That's okay. The real psychics of YouTube are psychic enough for all of you. This is where we answer questions before you even know what they are, and the answers will blow your mind. Get ready for another episode of The Real Psychics of YouTube.
I love that ad.
Thank you, Sherry. Okay, so now that's the little teaser of what's coming up tomorrow night. So, all right. So let's go here. I want to take that one off. Whoops. Okay. What's this? Who? Oh, this is kind of an interesting question. And I'll follow it up with the one about Jesse Walters. Whatever. Anyway, who do you feel is doing the best job reporting 45 and other news right now?
Ooh,
Cards for that. Just have our opinion.
I want your opinions too. I've got my pencil and I'm overachieving by writing them down.
Well, although I do get a little tired of hearing them because now in my feed they just come up over and over and over again. I love hearing what Midas Touch has to say about all of the legal proceedings and stuff that's going on. But as far as just reporting the news on Trump right now, I gotta say it's a tie for me between Nicole Wallace and Ari Melber. I like them. I always look forward to hearing what they have to say. And I love that they're getting like these retired judges, they're getting sitting judges, they're getting people who never come on TV to talk about this stuff, and it's just fascinating. And I like the podcasts by the lawyers who are all making podcasts now about Trump's cases. So that's my thing. Go ahead, whoever.
So I agree with you about Nicole Wallace and Ari. I love that. They're really clean and they bring a lot of detail. And I also, besides Midas Touch, listen to the lawyers like Glenn Kirshner and Brian Tyler Cohen is a great one to catch. And he also has something with Glenn Kirshner. Additionally, I also watch George Conway in his new little show. Yep. So I love to hear what the lawyers say about the legalities and what's really going to happen. Because then, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't really picked apart different broadcasts that, that I just sweep through all of them. And for the longest time, all of them were just so much BS. But I like the one with the George Conway. Also, I like the Susan Lynn broadcast. However, I don't think that's a national broadcast that goes out as a news broadcast, but I love what Susan Lynn comes up with. But I just read an article before I came on here today that talked about all the good things that Biden has been doing. And I thought, finally. And what they were talking about was that, he's helped the economy, he's helped job growth, he's helped make getting people to make more money out their jobs, that the unemployment has stayed so low, under 4% for over 2 years, which hasn't happened since the 60s. So I think that was an MSN article, and I don't know who wrote it. I don't really even pay attention to that part of it, but I thought finally, and what they were talking about was all these people, when they did polls with America's like, oh no, Biden's doing terrible. And they're just trying to set the record straight that all these things that people believe, and it probably comes from the Trump side of things, that they're just incorrect. And I'm thinking, if you start getting on this now and just repeating it over and over again, so people will finally get it, that it is not Biden that has screwed things up. And actually, the economy being so screwy in the first place was the pandemic and Trump. Trump added to the national debt. Trump made many mistakes, and then the taxing situation and stuff like that. But the fact that the unemployment is down so low, and that the major growth we have, how did they word this? We have twice as much growth as any other major rich country without suffering higher inflation.
Mhm.
They're talking about the United States. So
Yeah.
this is all Biden's magic. He's making all this happen.
Yeah, and I gotta say, for the last 4 years, I have had the worst tax returns, and I've owed money instead of gotten money back.
Mhm.
And I have a small business and I work full time. I should be getting a nice, healthy refund, and I couldn't. This year, I got a really healthy refund. Like it almost made up for the last 4 years. Like it was
So did we, and it's nice to see the refund coming in.
right because
Yeah.
I don't know what Biden did, but all of a sudden, all the deductions that I used to take
Yeah.
from my house and the home office and all of that stuff I was able to do again, and I
Yeah.
hadn't been able to do for the last 4 years. And I didn't know about any tax changes, but God, I'm sure grateful that it did
Yeah.
change.
Made a big
I
change.
think one of the biggest pluses with the tax changes is the fact that they actually have enough people in the IRS now to do the work,
Oh,
Mhm.
good. That's
Mhm.
whereas for so long they were so short staffed and so overworked that, the ones that were really breaking laws and skimming off the top and whatnot were skating through because we just didn't have the manpower in the IRS to look up those people, and to crack down on them. And I think that when they start cracking down on those that are breaking the rules, it affects for those of us who follow the rules. And he's done some other, I know they've done some finagling with the tax code and stuff. I don't understand it. I'm not even going to pretend to understand it, but yeah, we got a really nice return this year too that I wasn't expecting. And um as far as who's reporting, well, I don't have TV anymore. So I don't get to watch cable news or anything like that unless there's little clips online. And so I kind of get my news in bits and pieces here and there. But I've always enjoyed watching Ari and I've always enjoyed watching Nicole. Um, I would have to say the majority of my knowledge comes from Midas Touch and the different people that they have that do their shows through them, from current or past lawyers to business owners to, just straight up journalists that with all their different shows. It's it's nice to not only have somebody telling you what's actually happening, but then explaining it in a way that someone like me without a law degree can understand. You know, because you unfortunately, it got to the point where you'd get lawyers and stuff. When you would get them to come on TV and talk, they're talking lawyer speak, and I would sit there and go, I don't understand a word you're saying. What does that mean? So I think the fact that they have people who are in those positions who can break it down to a level that the average person can understand is what helps. And yeah, for those people who continue to think that Biden hasn't done anything for them, one of the challenges I've been trying to give out to people is memorize 5 things that he's done that's helped you out personally since he went into office. And the next time somebody hits you with, well, he hasn't done anything for me, you can tick those things off your finger and say, well, gas prices going lower didn't affect you. Medication going much lower didn't affect you, especially for people on Medicare or Medicaid. Suddenly they're not paying $2,000 a month for their medications. They're paying $50 a month. That can make a big damn difference to somebody. So yeah, I mean, it's important that those of us on the progressive side need to learn our facts so that when we're hit with the BS, there's a response right then and there. Boom.
Colleen.
Here's a fact, here's a fact, here's a fact.
Colleen, you wanted me to give you the 10-minute warning, but we have an 8-minute warning.
Okay, thank you. Yeah,
sorry, I went on.
That's okay. I do have to cut the show a little bit shorter tonight because I have pressing deadlines that I have to meet. Okay, Gerald, did you talk about the reporting?
No, I was listening.
Okay.
Thank you for checking.
All right. Do you have anything to add?
The only thing I would add is look multiple sources, look at people who have differing opinions, and then make your own informed decisions.
Yeah, good one. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. We'll take that down, and then let's see what else do we have. Oh, here's a nice one. And this kind of follows up nicely on the topic we were just discussing. Will Jesse Waters and Fox have any consequences for outing the potential juror that ended up being dismissed? Inquiring minds want to know.
Yes. I got death.
Oh.
I got the Wheel of Fortune. It feels like there's going to be some money involved with that. And then I have the Knight of Swords. They're going to come in with Fast and Furious on this because this is a problem.
Oh my God. Who else is ready? Go ahead.
Of Pentacles too.
Oh my God.
It's going to cost.
I so mirror your cards, Gerald. I was just so excited. Here they are. They're sitting there doing their reporter thing at home. Here's money that comes to I don't know if it'll go to the court system or the actual people who are outed, but they stepped in poop, and there's going to be money. There's going to be money to be paid because of that poop. They created a situation that enabled Trump system to out somebody. It's really relegating that system, the Trump system of outing, the whatever law that would break. They definitely went over the edge, taking a juror, a private juror, and putting them on national TV by calling out their details of where they work, what they do, a whole bunch of things. This isn't right. And there has to be some retribution from the law. I don't know what that law that would be. But
Great.
You know, and I agree with Gerald and Val, but I also think that the judge may just step in. He may not publicly do it because he's sick of all this stuff going public, but he's going to be looking around like, what in the world are you doing? Why now?
Yeah.
Right in the middle of all this picking jurors and stuff and putting people on the spot. And that's the whole, he's trying to protect the jurors, and he can't do it if you've got national news saying, well, this woman, she was going to be on there, but she can't do it now because she got stared down by Trump for one thing. I don't know which one it was, but anyway, no, I mean, I think the judge is going to, if somebody wants to take this on, the judge is going to be right there with them.
Okay.
I agree.
What do you got, Sherry?
I pulled the 10 of staff, so this has created a real burden for the jurors, especially the ones who have already been outed and are being harassed, because it's not just your normal harassing. These people on the right, I mean, they can cause serious harm.
They're scary.
Yeah, they're very scary.
Somebody in chat earlier mentioned that the judge is looking at removing more of the personal information in the jurors' information.
Yes.
So I think, it's like,
Yeah.
well,
So it can't.
Because one of the ones that got outed, she was like a NICU nurse or something, and she was the only one in that town that worked. It was like her and one other person. So
she said she got home and her friends all said, "You're the one on the jury, aren't you?" They could figure it out. So
Yeah.
she got so scared.
She's the only
Yeah.
one so far that's been doxxed, though. Nobody has pinpointed the other ones yet.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
go ahead, Sherry.
This is creating a tornado. I mean, just a whirlwind of mess, because people are going to be upset. You're going to have people who are not going to want to sit on that jury, even as alternates, for fear of what this could bring on them, because it's not just themselves, but they have their families, their coworkers, their friends, because these other people are crazy. They are crazy as
they'll come in your house.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think the judge is going to have them. He's going to show them the door, basically. Y'all are going to have to put a stop to this right now, or we're going to lock you up behind that door.
Like something like a cease and desist order or something.
Jesse Waters and Fox and all of them, they thought they've had trouble before.
Yeah.
Keep it up. And they're going to all find their butts behind.
Because aren't they interfering with the legal system by doing bidding in that way, by bullying and outing people?
Jury tampering.
Thank you. Jury tampering. That is there it is.
Federal offense.
Yeah.
Okay. That is a federal offense.
Did you already go, Gerald?
I did. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I started. Yeah.
So this young woman who is, I'm sure very good at her profession, but is scared to death now because of all these threats. I think she's going to be approached by lawyers who want to represent her, probably pro bono, because it's going to be a very publicized case. And so the law is going to step in. I don't think that the judge will be able to have anything to do with this, honestly. He may, I don't think he's going to have anything to do with this, but she is going to, press a suit against them for damages, like Ruby Freeman, right? It's the same kind of thing. Yeah. She's going to be able to sue them, and this is a high-powered news outlet or entertainment outlet. And Jesse Waters, I don't know if you guys know this, but he was the water boy for Bill O'Reilly.
Oh, yes.
He learned at the feet of the master, right? And so he has finally perfected his online snarkiness, and just in time for him to be out of a job and sued up the ass. So that's what I see happening here.
Yeah.
Well, and what I'm talking about with the judge is that he has been adamant about this thing about the jury. So
Yeah.
I'm just saying that that's where he's coming from. Is just he does not want anything to be threatened to the jurors. So if this woman, if she's been threatened, he is going by his words already. He's backing her up.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 And so how do we think, this is just my own question here, how do we think he's going to punish or whatever Trump about this gag stuff? Because he has to do something.
Yeah.
He can't, and $1,000 for a slip up is nothing. So what do we think he's going to do in order to keep?
Next slip up, he should or he has to pay $1 million fine.
But
No,
then still, go ahead, Val.
I was going to say, I think they're actually going to, this time, for some reason, again, I think he's going to actually give a final warning and to do the $1,000 fines. But on your next, outburst with this information, you will be held in contempt and 30 days in jail for every count of contempt. This is a formal announcement, even though Glenn Kirshner and the other lawyers think that he's really gotten, without saying this is your final warning, gotten the final warning. Well, I think this judge is going to do it by the letter of the law and say, this is your final warning. We're going to charge, you're going to be charged $3,000 for all 3 counts or $4,000, whatever. But then the next one is 30 days for every count. So that's going to be whenever they have that, Monday.
And I understand the judge's reasonings for not wanting to put Trump in jail to date, because that's what Trump wants, is for them to put him behind bars so he can raise money on it.
Well,
and so he can get his MAGA people to go a little bat so crazy and start doing shit. So, but I think, as Val was saying, this judge is only going to take it so far. And I think they have pushed him to the edge where it's going to be, okay, this is it. If it happens again, it's the slammer for you. And I think that while Trump thinks he wants to go to jail, the minute he gets put in that cell and the door's locked, he's going to have a real come to Jesus moment, I think, in that moment, because there's something very final about the clang of that door.
Yeah.
And you can't walk out when you decide you're ready to walk out.
Right. He may think romantically, oh, my followers. I'm just going to tell you up front. I don't see him out there now. I don't see him out there when he goes to jail. So this is just, I don't think it's going to happen. And I also don't know how many of his loyal followers want to end up like the ones in Rikers. I don't think they're going to be that dedicated to somebody who says, well, I'll get you, I'll pardon you. No, it doesn't happen. So
Gerald's flashing the warning light.
I want to, Colleen, check your time.
Okay, thank you. I'm good. I'm just wondering, are there Trump supporters outside of the courthouse now? Does he have anybody out there going, go Trump, go Trump?
No. He has people, no one is above the law. No one is above the law signs.
And he locked them up. And
he's got people against him.
Yes, there's nobody there for him. I
don't see any.
Just like there's nobody at his rallies anymore.
There's a few, but it's like 12 people. It literally is like 12 people. I just counted in the crowd.
So what's going to happen is he really does not get how, just like I think it was Gerald that said, when he goes to prison and he hears the clink, who said that, he is going to have a meltdown. It is really going to hit home, and he's not going to be placated. He doesn't even have a phone to go, see what they did to me.
I think the judge may do something a little irregular. He might just put Trump in a timeout.
I was just going to say that. Oh, here's my
Now, what's a timeout?
Like for like a little kid, just put him in that room, no windows, no phone, no nothing, and just let him sit there for a few hours and stew in his little
Yeah.
pouty face.
This is what I was getting to, that before he sends him to jail, which is then Trump can identify that he's being persecuted, right?
Yeah.
That he separates him from the rest of the proceedings.
Yeah.
Maybe lets him watch it on video or something, but takes away his phone. And
That could be.
that will make him
Yeah.
go completely crackers.
Yes, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I don't even think he'll let him watch something. I think he'll just
No, because he's supposed to be
By law.
involved in the proceedings, but if he's disruptive to the proceedings, they can remove him from the courtroom.
Oh, okay.
But if he removes him and he doesn't let him watch it, then Trump's going to complain that he wasn't given a fair shake.
Well,
So if he lets him watch it, but has him isolated, he and the CIA, his Secret Service guys can all sit in the room and play cards or something while they watch the.
and actually, by law, a criminal trial by law in New York, you have to allow the defendant to listen. They have to hear it all, even going up to the judge. They have to allow him to hear all conversations. It's the law. So even in a timeout, he would have to have earbuds.
You can wear earbuds while you're eating your fast food.
You
Well,
can, and he will.
Amanda Carroll says that he'll be put in the naughty chair.
Naughty chair.
Will, and I'm just waiting to see all of you really creative people send us some art with just that picture so that we can use it for the next thumbnail for PoliTarology.
Yeah.
There you go.
I would just love that.
There you go. That's a shout out to all of you people who have great art skills.
Yes, really love to see that. Trump in the naughty chair. Trump in the naughty chair. That's definitely what we want to see.
I just got notification about a paranormal talk that's coming up.
Yeah, it's coming up in 45 minutes, so I got to skedaddle here. But thank you, everybody, for playing PoliTarology with me. As you know, it's my favorite game to do every other Friday. And I thank all of the chatters for the questions, because I certainly wasn't prepared with questions tonight. But thank all of you readers for your wonderful divination. I really appreciate all of that. And so with that, I'm going to get ready here to sign off and say sayonara and thank you, thank you, thank you. So there we go.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.